ranking these drugs based off of 3 points of criteria. Criteria point number 1. Do you look like you're on drugs? Do you sound like you're on drugs? Do you smell like you're on drugs? Do you act like you're on drugs? IRL, when somebody talks to you, do you fucking look like you're on drugs? Can you tell you're on drugs? Criteria point number 2. When somebody sees you, talks to you, do you look like you were on drugs? AKA, do you look like you're withdrawing because you stopped taking that drug you were taking? Do you look like you're skinny because the last 2 years all you've been doing is cocaine and nothing else? It's me. Criteria point number 3. Can somebody tell you're on it? Ah! Which drugs can people tell that you're addicted to? Let's get the fuck right into it. Starting off with a bang. Benzodiazepines. Talking about alprazolam, Klonopin, Valium. This is a Xanax popsicle. I don't even have to think about this one. Some of these are gonna require some thought, for sure. But this one, you're a fucking retard. That's right, I use that word. Yo, don't cancel me, guys. I'm not even on yet. But look, you're not going to remember a conversation from 5 minutes ago. And if you do, you're not going to remember it 10 minutes later. And then 20 minutes later, you might be passed out on the couch. Everybody can tell you're on drugs. You sound like this. You're nodding out. Your eyes are baggy. It's bad. I started getting written up at work. People started asking me if I'm all right. You know how it goes when you're a fucking drug addict and you're on benzos. Your life falls apart and people can tell what's happening. Moving on. Dextromethorphan 450. This is a picture of Robitussin. Dextromethorphan DXM is in Delsim. Robitussin. Triple C's, but if you're doing triple C's, chances are you probably have other active ingredients in there, and that means you're fucked. If you're actually taking this drug to get high on, the only substance that should be in it, active ingredient, is dextromethorphan. Now, I believe everybody can tell that you're on drugs if you're taking dextromethorphan. Dude, they call it robo-tripping for a reason. You know, I told the story about one time I went to Target with this girl that I had a threesome with. I was 16, she was 21. Let that be the... Anyways, fucking... Moving on. You robo-trip. It's hard to even walk on that shit. I mean, you slur your words just as much as benzos. Moving on. Alcohol. I almost want to put in something's off about you. You might be on drugs. Oh, fuck. I gotta go pour up another shot. Guys, just really quick, now that we're on alcohol, this is a picture of beer. I love beer. I'm going to make a video about it, about my opinions about being Cali sober, but really quickly, what are your opinions about being Cali sober? Coming from a drug addict who's done every drug on this list besides heroin, yep, even meth, even fentanyl. What's your opinion on being Cali sober? Because I think I'm starting to be an alcoholic. Anyways, I don't think anybody can really tell. Maybe only fellow drug addicts can sniff you out. No, I thought about this for a long time. Let me explain. I've thought about this for a long time. Of course, if you show up to work smelling like alcohol, you don't shower, you don't shave like me, you look like a fucking bum like me, maybe people can tell that you're on alcohol. Okay, look, I have a fucking empty glass here of a cocktail. I have a glass here of a shot that I just took. And this is from last night of another drink. Like, dude, it sucks, all right? I don't even want to show you my closet of just empty bottles on empty bottles. If somebody walked in, they could tell. Somebody might raise some eyebrows. But no one can be certain unless they smell my breath. Unless they have done that drug. That's kind of what this tier is. You know, some people might raise eyebrows, but unless they kind of know what to look for, unless they can tell that's a sign, nobody can be certain. Maybe you're just having a bad day. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you just got divorced. I'm going to put it here. We might visit it again later, but we're going to put it here. Acid, LSD. Moving on. Of course, I'm talking about real acid acid. I'm not talking about like 4-HCO. We'll get to that. Why am I thinking about this? 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 Sorry, guys. I glitched, bro. My internet's lagging. Acid LSD, you're tripping. What if you go into psychosis? Then everybody knows you're on drugs, obviously, but everybody knows you're on drugs, obviously, no matter what, if you're tripping. Have you ever tried to hold a conversation with somebody that didn't know you were tripping? I've gone to work off acid, and it was like, I'll never forget it. That's all I'll say. Moving on. Everybody knew I was on something. They probably didn't know I was tripping, though. But what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I was dropping boxes, knocking over buckets of chicken. I'm stuck looking at the water drains going to the drain. It was bad. All right, moving on. Caffeine. Like, this tier list, obviously everybody can tell you're on drugs. Nobody would ever be able to point out which drug you're on unless they're just an absolute unit of a drug addict. And like myself, I mean, if I looked at you, I could probably tell what drug you're on. Let's make that a series. Send me a video of you talking, and I'll try and tell what drug you're on. Moving on. 7-0. Oh no! 7-0 won't get put in the bottom. No! No! Wow. There's a time and a place for everything. 7-0. Usually my worst, most hated drug in the entire universe. I don't think many people would be able to tell you're on it. Now, I think actually a little... Wait, what is caffeine doing here? I think a little bit worse than alcohol, in my opinion, because it's more in line with opioids. Obviously, if you take a fuck ton of 7-0, you're fucked. Even if you take a light amount, though, I feel like when I took it, you could probably tell I was on drugs. You know, I'm a little more laid back, a little more lazy. I'll put it here. Wow. Like, nobody can be certain that you're on a drug. I mean, but we are fitting the criteria, withdrawals, and now alcohol, if you're talking about withdrawals here, but we'll put it here. And we'll put 7-0 here. Because when you're really addicted to 7-0, the withdrawals are worse than alcohol, I would believe. Stimulants, ADHD medication. This is Adderall. Can you tell you're on it when you're on it? Not really. Especially if you have ADHD like myself. Can you tell you were on it? I mean, not really. I think maybe only fellow drug addicts can tell. You're talking really fast, but like people just think you talk fast like this. Nobody can really tell you you're on a drug or anything. I don't know. Yeah, we'll leave it here for now. Moving on. Cocaine. Is there a tier that is just like this drug's cool or something that I can put in? Something's off about you. You might be on drugs. I think my girlfriend, when I was really deep into my cocaine addiction, she could definitely tell I was on benzos at any point that I was on benzos. But maybe not if I had the cocaine out. But if I was on cocaine, something's off about you. You might be on drugs. You know, if somebody observes your behavior, aka you go to the bathroom maybe 30 minutes, you keep rubbing your nut, you keep going like that. Maybe 1 minute you're, yeah, woo! Then the next, don't fucking talk to me. Shut the fuck up. You might be on drugs, bro. Something's going on. I'm going to keep 7-0 here. Now, if you get really fucking drunk, This is a hard tier list to make. We'll leave this here. Moving on. Talking about bud, flower. Everyone can tell you're on drugs. You can smell it. If you're anything like me, your eyes get as red as fucking this Budweiser logo on this cup. As red as this picture right here. You smell like za. And you act like you're on za, dude. I'm not high. What? Huh? Wait, what? Yeah. Come on. And if somebody walks in your house smells like weed, it's hard to hide. Moving on. Caffeine. Nobody would ever tell you on drugs. I mean, would you tell that I just took a fucking scoop of pre-workout? No. Moving on. Opioids. These are hydros. Oxycodone. This is a picture of a Percocet. We're going to put it with 7-0. Something's off about you, but you might be on drugs. I guess if you take enough, then fuck yeah, you can tell you're on opioids. Honestly, we'll put it here. I mean, everyone can tell Juice WRLD was on drugs. Yeah. Any drug addict who's taking opioids, you're taking it to fucking take away the pain. Moving on. Ketamine. And also, good luck hiding this if you're withdrawing. You know what I mean? Same with this. These you can't hide while you're on it. This you can't hide while you're withdrawing. I don't know. It's just, these are hard to hide. Simple as that. Ketamine. Fuck, there it goes. Another one down here. It's in line of a psychedelic. Especially if you're K-holing. Yeah, somebody's going to think you're having an exorcism. Obviously, if you take like a small bump, you're still even fucked, actually. I did ketamine therapy where they microdosed me, whatever that means. They injected that shit in my fucking bloodstream, and yeah. Yeah, I had a hard time even finding the bathroom after I got up out of that chair. Moving on. Fentanyl! You remember Rue from Euphoria? Moving on. Research chemicals. These are analog of other drugs. You know, analog compounds of other drugs. They're fake. People make them in a garage. They're wannabes, you know, wannabe stimulants, wannabe psychs, wannabe benzos. Bromazlam. The best one ever. Obviously, depending on which research chemical you do. Most of them you're going to be able to tell you're on drugs. They're usually even stronger than the drugs they're trying to imitate, so. I've overdosed off research chemicals multiple times, so let's just move on. Lean! Cody, promethazine, if Robitussin's here and lean is here, no, they're not similar in terms of effects. Robitussin's more like a psych, honestly, in my opinion. It's more like an opiate. This is more like a dissociative psych type thing. But if opioids are here, lean is here. You know, you act chiller. You act different. If it changes how you act drastically, then yeah, you're here. Courts! I'm going to put it here. Some people might raise eyebrows, but nobody can be certain. Now, let me explain the reason it's so different from fucking bud and dabs. Okay? And dabs. Dabs get you absolutely fried. My eyes get red no matter what type of weed I smoke. But if I take eye drops, I go to the bathroom at work. I chief the fucking wax pen really quickly and come out. I have eye drops on. Unless I say something stupid, nobody's really going to be able to tell that I'm high. Right? There's been people at work. I work in the restaurant industry. There's been people that fucking pull out a wax pen outside and I'm like, dude, you smoke? Really? You know, like I would never be able to tell. So, that's that. It's discreet. It only smells for like 10 minutes. This is strong. Gets you super fucking faded. Now, obviously, unless your eyes get red like mine, then you're fucked. But put eye drops in. It doesn't smell. This smells still. This, you have to carry a dab rig with you. You know, these are, everyone can tell you're on drugs. You have to go smoke. Oh, I'm going to take a step outside. Yeah. All right. DMT. I've personally never been like, yo, let me smoke DMT before my shift. It's a good idea. Nobody will notice. That's never crossed my mind. So, yeah. Moving on. I've done DMT and I've broken through. It was for like a 5-minute period, and I had my girlfriend stay with me just in case I threw up. Yeah. Heroin! You guys saw Breaking Bad? James died from this shit. Walter White knew Jesse was on heroin and didn't even see the drug yet. You're not off, your skin melts and rots, your teeth rots. Fentanyl, you die. I mean, dude, these are top 2 right here. Nicotine. Maybe only fellow drug addicts can sniff you out. I only say that because the habit of smoking nicotine is almost like the habit of doing cocaine. It's every 30 minutes. Somebody's going to sniff that out. I can tell who smokes Nick at work just based off of how often they're gone, how often they go to the bathroom, how often they step outside, etc., etc. Come on. Moving on. Any other reason it's up here, but just because you can tell you're going to the bathroom a lot. Wow. Wow. Kratom. Kratom actually also might not go on the bottom. Now, one of you recently commented, kind of bringing light to the reason people use Kratom is to deal with opioid use, deal with opioid withdrawals, and things of that nature. I kind of forgot about that. I am sorry to you guys for never really thinking of it in that nature, in that way. And I appreciate you for bringing that to light, because now maybe I'll view Kratom in a different way. 7-0 can still fucking get hit by a train, but Kratom, I think maybe only fellow drug addicts can sniff you out. And even then, how would you really tell you're on Kratom? Nobody can ever tell you're on drugs. It's so mild. The reason I hate Kratom is because I couldn't feel the effects that I wanted to feel because you had to take so much. It's such a mild effect. Even if you take the red strain and it's like opioids. I mean, dude, how chill are you really? You're not taking opioids. I guess we'll put it here to be fair. But Kratom's borderline top tier. Nobody would ever tell that you're on drugs. Now, unless somebody found your jar of Kratom powder or something, yeah, but it's not even that fair to rank it that way. That third point of criteria is loose. Really, the number 1 criteria matters the most. Number 2 criteria matters the most. We'll leave it here because withdrawals can fucking suck. And this, people can obviously tell if you're like, oh, I haven't got my caffeine today. AKA, you're a white girl and haven't got your Starbucks. But yeah, I guess we'll leave that there. Kratom, we'll leave that there as well. Fake carts, smoke shop carts. These are your THCPs, THCAs, Delta 8s, Delta 9s. I think it's fair to put it here. It smells even less than real weed, because it's not real weed. You probably aren't even getting high. Now, unless you just get a lucky little cart. And by lucky, I mean you accidentally smoked black tar heroin, so now you're straight tweaking. Yeah, obviously you can tell down here, but usually I'll be put it up here. We're gonna put it here. We're gonna put it here. Now, if you get a good cart, obviously, but this is a picture of a clever koi, bro. Do you know what a clever koi is? Because unfortunately, I do. Shout out anybody who's had to endure a clever koi to the lungs. Hopefully we're okay in 15 years. Shrooms! You're fucked. I mean, dude, acid, shrooms, your pupils get dilated. Any psychedelic, these are top 3. With these as well. These are up there. These are all up there, you know? You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. I don't have to explain that. You're tripping. They call it tripping for a reason. Bro, you're tripping. People literally say that as a fucking statement. Edibles. Ooh, what did I just eat? You're right. Nothing. All I did was drink alcohol. Edibles. Something's off about you. You might be on drugs. I mean, being high off weed, it's like you can kind of tell that you're high. Edibles, I feel like we have to put it with carts. It's only fair. It doesn't smell. It's discreet. We'll put it here. We'll put it here because I feel like people can tell when I'm high. That's where my brain's going with this. I feel like people can tell when I'm high. My eyes get red. I act different. Maybe I'm more fidgety. A little more anxious. Yeah. Yeah. My eyes get low. Your eyes get low. I can tell when my girlfriend's high. But there be times where I'm like, I don't know. Nobody could tell I was high for the first couple years that I smoked, but something was off. Something's off. Something's off, but we don't know if you're on drugs or not. You might be on drugs, though. That's why these lie. I might even move 7-0 up one more. Damn. Damn. Yeah. Nah. No. Yes? No. All right. Moving on. Molly, MDMA. This is a picture of pressed ecstasy. If your Molly or MDMA looks like this, thank you for your service, as you might drop dead. You ask your plug for Molly. You say, is it capped? If they say yes, you change states, change countries, and change contact information, and you find the new plug. Molly is a rock crystallized drug. It should not look like this. Now, if you do Molly, it's just like psychedelics. You're fucked. Your pupils get dilated, and you're probably dry humping anybody that you see that you find attractive, even remotely. Yeah, everybody can tell you're on Molly. Probably have a hard on, and you're also tripping. So, crystal methamphetamine. It's up there. Okay. What you guys just witnessed was me being a drug addict and trying to put this higher than it can be. But if you take crystal methamphetamine, everybody can tell that you're on crystal methamphetamine or a drug, period. It eats your skin. It sinks in your face. Sinks in your eyes. You're up for 3 days. Yeah. I loved it when I did it. Moving on. Fake shrooms, aka smoke shop shrooms, gas station shrooms. It could contain substances like 4-HCO, DMT. It could contain things like amanita fly nectar. Whatever it contains, it makes you trip. You can tell when you're tripping, right? If I was off acid, you'd probably be able to tell, right? Wow. Is this really the list? We'll put these here. Fuck, can we? Where would you guys put carts and edibles? I'm torn. There's been so many people in my life where I couldn't tell they were high, but there's been so many people where I can tell they're high. So we're going to smack a dab in the middle. And that is going to finish our tier list of which drug addictions are easiest to hide. Now, when I say that sentence out loud, these deserve this tier. Easy to hide, easy to hide. Don't smell if you keep the bag sealed. Don't smell at all. If you do it right, nobody can tell you're high. Of course, when your tolerance goes up, nobody can tell you're high. Yeah, they sit right in the middle, nice and pretty. We did it! What do you guys think of this tier list? Do you agree or not? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed, if you found it entertaining, or if you fuck with me, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. It lets me know that you enjoyed. It lets YouTube know that you enjoyed, and it pushes it out to more people. I appreciate everybody who watches. Have a good day, night, whenever you caught it, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Peace. If you watch,